Hey, I'm just trying to figure out this iPad. I don't know if this is going out live or not, but I felt for a moment that I should come on here and talk about gender and weird stuff like that. Um, I fall under the giant umbrella of transgender, meaning that I was born a biological male, and there are a lot of different variations. There are some people that they are fully female and they go through with a giant operation and hormones, and I've done hormones before illegally and kind of reached a peak, but in my life I was rather messed up at that time and had to change back to more of a male appearance, a male side to get healthy again, which would mean if you are a human being that um, gender expression fluctuates in time. You're fluid. Sometimes you are male, sometimes you're female. Though recently I am generally more female on a regular basis in presentation, but I realize I've just got to be me. And, I've lived a lot of weird things, but I have supportive family and friends, and I haven't lost anyone due to some kind of strange appearance or prejudice. I have very supportive family and loving friends, and my dog's gonna mess with the plug. Anyway, so there are some hardships I haven't gone through. I have no problem going out in public this way. Generally blend in with the crowd if I do not make myself readily apparent. And, some kind of really wild thing, but sometimes dressing like a tart is fun. And I have had honks and cat calls, which are complimentary to me and humorous, but I'm also aware that if people don't realize from a distance that I am somewhat other than a, born female, that the reaction could be violent, and that happens a lot. I also wanted to just say that, I'm like 50 years old, so I've been through quite a bit, did a legal name change as well, long time ago. Um, but I just, I'm Teddy, um, last name changed, death before dishonor of the family name and all that. It's what I felt 20 years ago. But, I'm lucky to live a life where I can just be who I am and represent as I am and not have to worry about, not having a place to stay or have a full belly, Um, I don't intend to change the way I speak, Some people do the voice training and all that, but I've seen 60-year-old transgender people say that's a dead giveaway when you're trying to put on a higher voice than it's actually yours. It's like if you want to quote pass as female, if you were born a biological male, a dead giveaway is to flip out the voice. And I don't want to feel like I've had some kind of split where I have to come out as a different name than I am. I've heard some folks, I don't mean to diss on anyone if that's what's up with them, but some people have not been able to express themselves as I do. And so if they feel like the guy's name is Joe and his inner Rachel has to come out, but she's got to hide and she wants to come out. With me, that's not the case. I just go out and do stuff. So in that way, I'm lucky too that I haven't ever felt the need to hide or, who I am. Though 20 years ago, when I really first started doing this, and being a musician on the streets and dressing all weird and being on hormones illegally, administering them to myself, because I couldn't get a doctor to do it for me, and that was right. God, I've already lost what the freak I was saying. Anyway. Yeah, so, I've been through all that, you know. Um, it's a very odd thing, but I'm tired. I'm trying to learn this iPad. It's a new device, so, um, but yeah, people go through that, like, little, like, weirdo hiding thing, and I get it, but, that's another thing that I'm lucky to have gone through, and I'm glad that, um, I decided to go back into, a film appearance because men's clothes are really boring. You know, men's clothes are really boring. And I'm talking to the wind because no one's going to watch this. I've got like 6 people who watch stuff. Um, I wanted to go live, but apparently this is not what's going on. That's my art in the background. Um, yeah, anyway, I felt like, well, I was told that even if I look horrible, I could be all filmed out. And my idea was, I don't want to look horrible. I just want to look good. Men's clothes are boring. Like, you've got like jeans and like khakis and slacks and stuff. And yeah, you want a size 32 pants, you're going to get that. And women's clothes are a bit different in that you buy a 36B bra and it's more like a 32B or something. You buy like certain size for your waist. You better just eyeball it. But I've also done the weird thing in this weird Midwestern Indiana where, you go to the Goodwill or go to Walmart and you're like going in to change clothes in this freaking Walmart, right? And you're trying to get to the change room with some female clothes, and it's rather freakish. It's amusing. People flip out, but you can just eyeball stuff. But what's also fun is really weird, bizarro stuff you can get online these days, especially in the weird age of COVID. So, yeah, I just wanted to speak to this, you know, other weirdos out there that are like me, being 50, right? And there's some people in worse situations coming around, weird looking. Like what? I'm gonna get like kicked out of this apartment for like bad fashion choices, right? That's what I'll joke about. If it ever comes up, you know. Um, yeah, I thought I had more to talk about than this, but I don't know. I've seen other transgender people come out and make like bizarro videos, and the only thing that I would consider doing as far as surgery at this point, because since I was like administering my own hormones back in the day, like whatever, 15, 20 years ago, I think I maxed out as far as I understood the medical benefits of hormones. So you're only going to get so much breast growth and the anti-androgens, the anti-testosterone drugs like spirulactone that I was on will actually stop the development at a certain point. But I feel the science is not developed even among cutting edge doctors. So, the only thing I would consider doing is one, getting electrolysis so I wouldn't have to deal with all the facial care and mess you have to do as far as shaving and get that done, and that's relatively cheap. And the only thing other than that is just straight out get like a boob job and get silicone implants, which I've got referrals for doctors. But what I'm doing with that right now is just I'm wearing the size bra I like want to wear with the right bust size, and I've got basically silicone clear like pads that I'm putting in my push-up bra, to get a sense of how that'll feel. And I want to do that for at least a year before I would consider saving the money to do that kind of surgery, because silicone gummy implants for your breasts will only last 10 to 20 years, and I'm going to be an old freak. right? But I want to look good while I can, and it's a major surgery, so you've got to think about like recovery. And I can't, apparently you shouldn't really smoke 5 weeks prior to the operation and 6 weeks after. But, I'm not looking for like a full transformation. It's more of like a union of being a two-spirit person, realizing that I was born biological male, but I have a definite feminine side, and it's a marriage of the two that I'm cool with. You know, um, it's a marriage of the two that I'm cool with. So, yeah, but I can just go down the street and get electrolysis professionally done, and hopefully they'll say you've got the kind of like hair type that this will actually be beneficial. So, yeah, I just like that I'm talking to the wind for 10 minutes. But that's what that is with me, and it's kind of cool that the younger generation, like the 20 somethings, the 30 somethings, are like, I know they've got a lot of new terminology like cisgender, like there's all these different like branch offs, and that's all good. Everyone should be all inclusive. I just don't want the community to sit there and find new ways to put each other down. I know that it almost seems trendy and popular to be transgender, transsexual, tranny, or whatever. And, it's a serious lifestyle, it's a serious thing to do. In the 90s, mid 90s, in this area, some of the older people in 60s, 80s, if you even said you were bisexual at that time, they said, you hadn't made up your mind with, are you gay or straight, though gender is different. At that time, and even in the early 2000s, here anyway, in the Midwest, it was apparent that you are the lowest on the totem pole. Not only are you going to get it from the straight community and get put down and all the violence and all that, but even within your own community, gay, lesbian, and bisexual were on a higher rung than freaks like me that are transgender-ish. And it was also, I felt time back then that I was doing the whole, it was almost like a denial of self that, I had to do this name change and be on the hormones, and I lived every day, all day, full day for years as a woman out in public and at home. But it was a denial of the masculine side of me too. And like what I'm saying is the union for me. Um, it's a union. I can be boring old Ted or Teddy because it was weird that I realized when I was in elementary school, all my family and friends and called me Teddy, and there was one teacher along the way, I don't remember which one, would not recognize me as Teddy. I had this red hair and I was very even young, and so she decided to call me Ted and wouldn't call me Teddy, and that's when my name changed. They went from calling me Teddy to Ted, and that stuck. And I just went with it forever and a day. And being like a rebellious 15-year-old in the mid 80s, my friends were gay and I didn't give a damn. In the midst of a giant AIDS scare, I was wearing all gothed out, punked out makeup, and I was like a little femme thing, but I don't think it was so much about gender as being some kind of weird conforming nonconformist from back in the day, all cured out, like the band. Um, uh, but yeah, also there's that other weird thing about when someone's born, if the woman is on a medication to help them get pregnant, which is like estrogen rich to help, or even if they don't use such a medicine, they can give birth to a child that has much more estrogen than the testosterone. So there could be a young boy that's freaking estrogen rich, And with me, I'm only 5'6". I'm like maybe 135 pounds. So, that's all gone down too. And yeah, it's also funny when people talk like Valley Girls. I don't care. It's just a weird thing. Like there's this movie called, I don't know. I do the Valley Girl imitation, but I'm just rambling. What, we're going on 15 minutes now? I'm just hoping this will help some human being out, somewhere who needs the experience of a lunatic like me, you know, helps me to ramble. But you can just be whoever you are and do what's right and what's good for you. But I'm saying, even with the younger generation, even if it's a trend and people experience it, sometimes I used to joke that all people should be like forced to serve in the military, but as the opposite gender. And I figured that would scare the crap out of any opposing force when a tranny comes up from the trenches with some kind of weapon. That would scare the hell out of almost anybody. Of course, that old joke about pulling out former presidents like Ronald Reagan, like bring his embalmed body back, that would pretty much scare the hell out of an opponent, but I'm screwed up. It's like some kind of weird ass routine. Anyway, I feel like pausing it, but there's no way to pause this damn thing. I'm wondering like how many gigs this file is too. But I've had the help of people just, I've seen in YouTube videos. So just realize that transgender stuff can be a difficult life, but do what's true to your heart and true to your body and be whoever you are, and accept it and love yourself. Like I said, I've not had to I've never been married, but I've never had to lose a relationship because of some kind of gender issue. I've not lost family members, and the friends that wouldn't dig what I'm doing now have passed away in my life anyway. I mean, not died, but they, it didn't work as like friends. I love some of these people like brothers, but they even have a problem with being saying love like a brother, but they're gone and they had to fall away. I couldn't violate my belief system to be their friend, and it was much more comfortable to let them all pass, to go on and live their life comfortably. That kind of stuff happens. I've gone through things that, recipient of abuse, and maybe you could consider violence, but what I've come to is forgiveness of others. That I have to forgive people, those who harmed me, so that hate wouldn't be perpetuated to others through me and also at myself. I think hate in the end, in any form of anyone, eventually ends up in yourself, and you can't look in the mirror anymore. You look in the mirror and you're the only one left because you've hated everyone else away. And where are you going to aim that hate? That face looking back at you in the mirror. And I've known people that end up in a suicide due to that sort of thing. And I'm grateful for everyone I've met, like everything bad and good, because it helped me grow and get here. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm gonna figure out how to upload this crap. Those are my weird ass pictures back there. But I'm married to my art and music. Who knows, I might put this somewhere else. It's so strange with the internet, because even if you do want to get kind of, gnarly, I don't get the whole thing about not showing nipples. But I know some content, there's less and less freedom of speech all over the internet. It's almost like if it's not directing people to be violent, my whole thing is I might not agree with anything you're saying or doing, but I would fight or protect your right to express yourself, even if I don't agree with it. Some like American patriot once said that. He said, I might not agree with anything you're saying or doing or believing, but I would defend to my death that you're right to do so. So I believe in freedom of speech, and you just don't want to incite violence, like saying screaming fire in a freaking movie theater or something. You don't want to do that, but I think that's like tested. That's not a good thing. But I've had friends that sat with me, like when I was doing the whole estrogen hormone thing and being like just out there. And my friend, who was a revolutionary, that's what he said. I don't believe or agree with anything you're doing, but I'll hang out with you and tell you I disagree. You have a right to express yourself any way you feel, and that's really cool. He didn't agree with anything. He's like, you're gonna look awfully weird when you get old with like a square jawline and tits. You're gonna look fucking weird. You know, he's probably right, but I'm gonna look weird anyway. I'm a fashion victim. Yeah, but I'm learning this iPad and took selfies all day. Yeah. Maybe one day I'll actually do some kind of live, like, music concert thing. I wonder how many gigs this is gonna take to upload. Or even if it will, we'll just say, no, we can't do it, and this machine will die. Burp. But yeah, that friend of mine died, and he pretty much died of insanity and like self-loathing. So it happened to him too. He did change my life. He would find humor in that. I could say, uh, he died for my sins. He would be like laughing in the grave. Um, yeah. But yeah, I guess what excludes me really from any kind of gender dysphoria diagnosis is that I really am insane, and I have diagnoses to prove it. So, that cannot be um, like done legally with me, and I'm cool with that. I mean, it makes sense. No doctor wants the liability of that anyway. And some of these diagnostic manuals for the DSM-4 or 5 now, which is psychiatric diagnostic manual for shrinks to figure out nut people and to make a diagnosis which the government will pay for with certain insurance. Whoever wrote the part on gender was very rather bigoted and slow and really didn't investigate. So if you do get some sort of diagnosis via there, beware, because the guy who penned that part, from what I've read, uh, didn't do his homework or her homework, and really bad slanted decision making and writing the diagnostic section there. So I'm just saying beware. Also, um, the other good thing too is that I'm old enough to know when to be discreet or when to play dumb with people in public, and I haven't really had any bizarre young kid come up and be like, "Is that a wig? Are you a dude?" I can walk my dog and not even get noticed, or I can get flirted with. The other day, some fellow followed me off the bus because his friends kept saying I was a stripper, kept saying, she's on the pole. It was really weird. He comes up, he's like, hi. He wants a cigarette, right? That's his excuse. He's like, hi, I'm Mike. And so, can I have a cigarette? And I said, get him one of these. So I hand it to him. And I said, well, because what's your name? And I said, my name's Ted. I handed him the cigarette and darted off to where I was going. It was amusing. I kept thinking, if I just said Teddy, but that's a term of endearment my family and close friends have said. But I just said Ted using my voice. And then a guy I've known for like 30 years, when I came back on the bus, I was waiting for the bus and he walks up. He didn't even freaking recognize me. He didn't recognize me. The only thing is, he looked down at my boots. I mean, this is a guy who knows my history and my music, and we've done things, and he didn't know who the heck I was. And I know he's got a girlfriend. And, you know, he finally said, those are really nice boots, because I had these cool boots on. And then when the bus came, he let me go first. But usually he chats me up, when I was all represented as a male and this and that, but I don't think he knew who I was. Stuff like that's kind of cool. But I don't know. God damn, 25 minutes? Lonely people talk. But I'm just doing this because I'm getting help from people. And there's not old freaks like me doing these transgender stuff on YouTube. Like, there are a lot of young people who are beautiful, and it's very simple for them to be pretty, and they can get on the hormones all good and okay through a doctor, and make the transition during puberty or shortly thereafter and just get used to it and be a knockout. But I'm a freak in the Midwest who's old, but I haven't had to. I know I'm in a better situation than a lot of folks are who have to like hide and lead some kind of bizarre double life. That's not something I've had to go through. But yeah, there are a lot of people prettier, but there's not many, as far as I know, in this little Midwestern town, where there are not many of us here, you know. Like, I'd be blown out of the water in San Francisco in the Castro or some kind of freak ass club, and, you know, I'm just lucky not to be terribly hideous, you know. I think being an artist, I know something about color. And since I've been wearing makeup since I was 14 and 15 years old, I've got a clue on that. And there are tons of tutorials that help you, like, color correct and stuff for your makeup and all that, how to like take care of your skin. So that's really cool. But for anyone else there who's out in doing this stuff this late in life, that needs, like, because I know I can look around online for support and this and that, and in the age of COVID, Zoom is everywhere. And there are organizations everywhere. I just want to find some strange, like minded folks. You know, I really felt in around the early 2000s that, it was almost a status thing that I would somehow be on top of the transgender totem pole if I like fully transitioned and did all that stuff. And you don't need to do that if you don't want to. But that's just, it was a weird thing back then. I'm really happy that there are all these little subgroups, and femme and butch and cisgender and non-binary. I don't even know all the terms, and, it's not, gender is separate from sexuality. It is, I think I would much rather tend towards men right now, you know. It's just that, but that's a different thing altogether. I'm scared. I don't want to be like Mr. Garrison on South Park. I don't want to look like that or behave like that. This is Mr. Hat. Fuck you, children. Can I say that on YouTube? Can you swear like that? Get like stricken for content? But yeah, I even have friends. If I want to ramble like this, I can just do that. Can call them up and do this. Some people, and sometimes I'm better than television for my friends, and I lull them to sleep as well as myself, which is happening now. But I like the idea of if someone comes up and they try to, what do they call it now, clocking, where it's like if you don't pass as a female, or if you're a female to male, like if you don't pass and someone outs you as your original gender, that you don't look like you're, that's also in the older days, I guess it was called being red, when someone just comes out and asks like some kind of bizarro thing that outs you as your biological gender. um I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought. But they you know, it's kind of a weird thing, but that's some of the terminology, being clocked or read. I could care less. No mature adult is really going to terribly trip out on you, I don't think. Just like if you're going for a walk or something, even in the Midwest of America, you know, mature adults don't give a damn. They're wrapped up in their own little weird life. They're not going to flip out, you know. Yeah, but I like the idea of playing dumb. If someone does that, I'm going to play stupid. I'm going to play stupid like I don't even know what the hell they're talking about, or ignore them, or whatever else. Play dumb. The best part of waking up is playing dumb to those people. Um, yeah, this isn't so bad with the lighting right now in here. Sometimes I have real trouble with the lighting. Oh yeah, the other thing, I've said it before, is if you're porn a guy, you can always use like a choker. I don't have it hiding it right, but we've got the Adam's apple thing going on too. So if you can get a choker, if you're worried about that, you can hide that too, you know. I like this. My dog found me this for during a walk. I love mustard colors. Yeah, but also, it's always good, you know, if you're doing more feminine fashion, is to learn about how colors work and what your color of your skin and hair and all that is. To go into studies of art and painting, so you know how colors work, and helps you with your fashion choices. Um, I think it's beneficial. It helps you do your makeup too if you learn that too. You know how colors work. It's always good if, you know, in this modern age, is somehow to know how to adjust your camera. You know, get yourself a DSLR camera and learn about aperture and exposure and contrast and light and dark and all that kind of stuff, so you can mess with your camera. Here's pretty much a straight shot. I've got this thing on like studio light. And so this is basically what I'm looking like. And I'm all snugged up. Well, I'm going to see what the frick this does and then upload it. So peace out, y'all. Tell me if you even saw this. Bye.